I don't really pay attention to the art community nowadays. I just draw whatever I want or whatever I feel like or whatever I'm inspired by. I don't look at influences, I don't look at tutorials, I barely even see artworks online anymore. I just draw by myself, try to get better, and just enjoy the process. But if we rewind 3, 5, 7 years back, there was a time when I was a part of the art community. I engaged in the art community. I looked at tutorials, I followed influencers, I watched their YouTube videos, I kept up to date with the things that were trending within the art community, the controversies, whatever was popular at the time, and so on and so forth. And I'm not sure if this is the case anymore, but back then I felt like I saw a lot of conversation revolving around art style. How to find your art style. What is your art style? And admittedly, I was also obsessed with it as well, because I didn't know what my art style was. I would look at tutorials and advice from people all the time. And one thing I always heard from people was to steal. Steal artistically. Take one thing from this artist, from this artist, from this artist, and implement it into your own work. But from my experience, trying to find an art style just made my art journey miserable. Because I'm trying to draw like this artist, but my drawings aren't turning out the way theirs are. So then I'd constantly be discouraged whenever I try to pick up a pen. And I was always jumping from art style to art style. I went from minimalism to semi-realism to complete realism. Then I said I'm gonna be a messy artist. Then I said I'm gonna be a clean artist using unconventional colors. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just saw a bunch of cool things and tried to emulate it. So what's my point? My point is that I shouldn't have listened to what anybody told me. I realized after hours and hours of drawing and trying to find an art style that I already have an art style. And I'm willing to bet that you already do too. And I'm not saying that if you draw things incorrectly or you draw things weirdly or you have wrong anatomy and all that, that's a part of your art style. Of course you have to get better at it. Everyone isn't completely perfect in their drawing, but let's say I draw a hand and you draw a hand and we use the exact same reference. So we're equal in skill. But if you were to draw the hand and I was to draw the hand, they would look completely different. Why? Because the way you carry your pen and the way you do your strokes is completely different from how I do it. If I'm to give another game analogy, it would be like, we're both level 50, but I'm a rogue and you're a mage. We both do the same amount of damage, we both have the same amount of defense, but your skill set is just different than mine. And I think that was the biggest problem with trying to find an art style, is the whole thing about stealing from artists that you like is kind of wrong. But I feel like you have to do what's true to you. You shouldn't be trying to be someone else, or you should be doing what's the most fun to you, what speaks true to you. Like me, for example, I hate doing line art. I hate doing the rough sketch and then lowering the opacity and then creating a new layer on top of that and then sketching over that rough sketch. I hate that. I absolutely despise it. But everybody that I saw that I thought had good art did that. So I thought I should do it as well. Even though I didn't want to and I hated it, I kept doing it because if they did it and their art turned out like that and I like it, then maybe I should do it as well. But that just didn't work for me. And in the present day, I don't do line art at all. I just do the rough sketch and then render over it. And that's because I wasn't playing to my strengths. I'm trying to use a necromancer skill when I'm a rogue. That's not gonna work. I don't have the skills for that. I don't have the correct stats. My build is different. I have a completely different playstyle. And that's really the main thing that I want to tell everybody else, is with all these YouTube tutorials and people telling you how to find your art style, I want to tell you to stop trying to find your art style, because you already have one. All that really matters is the fundamentals. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. Everything that you draw in this world cannot be replicated. You are unique. You will never be like this artist. You will never be like that artist. You can only be yourself. Whether you like it or not, the way you draw things is completely unique to you. Just like how you can't copy Sam Does Arts, he can't copy you either. Even if all you drew was a single line on a piece of paper, and then I drew a single line on a piece of paper, both of those lines will not be the same. They might look the same, but they're not. Honestly, I think art styles are a scam. All that matters is that you get better at what you want to draw, not how you want to draw it, if that makes sense. If you draw people, all that matters is that you get better at drawing people. If you draw landscapes, all that matters is that you get better at drawing mountains or painting mountains. You understand the shapes, the colors, the lighting, whatever else. And the better you get at those things, your art style will naturally come out. Because like I said, your art style is you. It's literally in the way you move your hand. It's your personality. And I think you'll find that the moment you stop trying to fight your own nature, drawing will become a lot more natural, a lot easier to you. At least that's what it was for me. Although it was a good experience for me to understand why I can't draw like somebody else, or why someone's, artistic process or art style isn't a good match for me. I feel like I wasted so much time trying to find an art style when I could have just been getting better at anatomy or, dynamic poses or composition or shading and stuff like that. So I hope if you listen to this, you can take my advice and stop trying to find an art style. You already have one. Just try to get better at the core principles of drawing, the fundamentals. And sure, of course, once you get good enough, then you can start experimenting with different styles or different mediums and stuff like that, or unconventional ways to draw. But I think a lot of people are trying to skip steps. They're trying to go to step 10 when they haven't even put their foot down on step 1. You need a good base. The roots have to be strong. You need to plant that seed and water it and give it good sunlight. Because if you try to skip the basics, skip the fundamentals, and just go straight for an art style that someone has developed on their own because they knew the rules, so they knew how to break it, your one is just going to look like cheap imitation. You have no idea why someone draws something the way that they do, why they chose colors the way that they do, even if they do it quote unquote the wrong way, because you never learned how to do it right. But yeah, that is all. Goodbye.